Welcome back to the Rules of Engagement. We're about to do the Q&A period, but first, let me remind you guys about our awesome YouTube channel. It's called youtube.com/official MLGSC2. It'll bring you right to this site right here. You can catch a live feed. You can go to playlists. Whoop. And then, of course, with playlists, you can bunch of different playlists. Got comments of the day. Leave comments on our YouTube, man. You leave comments, we'll respond to them every day, or, well, not quite every day, but we're trying to get more comments of the day out there. So leave comments, we'll respond to them. You know, winter season showdowns, rules of engagement, all your favorite stuff's there. And it's all up pretty quickly. Like, you can look at uploads. Well, it's not liking me. We'll go back to feed. You can go to feed and you can see these. They come up very, very, very quickly. In fact, there's a new comment day up there. Within an hour, you're going to see the series we just saw between Sniper and C. It'll be up there. A lot of cool stuff. So go check out our YouTube. Go hit subscribe to show your appreciation as well. But now we're going to do some questions and answers. So the first question is going to be from Kevin Nielsen. What do you think will be the biggest game breaker during the Heart of the Swarm release? So there's a couple ways to interpret the term game breaker. I think he means like, right when it comes out, will there be certain strategies that are just like too broken right off the bat? I think, or will he say what will be changed between the beta? I think it means what's relatively broken. Like in Wings of Liberty, right? Off the bat, Marines were super overpowered because you could build them 20 seconds and you could rush everyone, you know? And then there was the Reapers were really strong too. So there's a couple things like that. Wings of Liberty, or Heart of the Swarm is not going to be anything quite as bad. I think they're going to fix the current Reapers. They're going to do something more with Hellbats. They're probably going to do something more with Widow Mines. Might do something with Swarmos. Maybe not. I think those are fine. What's something that'll sneak through the lines that people don't realize now because everyone's having fun with the early game shenanigans is how insanely strong Ravens are in Heart of the Storm. Like, if you actually build, if you get up to like 15, 20 Ravens, that's not even that many. 15 and 20 is like 40 food, right? I mean, remember people would build like 40 infestors, right? Ravens, you just get to like 15 or 20, and you've won the game. Like, literally, there's nothing a Zerga Protoss can do against Ravens. It just, once you get a decent amount of them, there's no way Terran can lose. So, people haven't figured that out yet because people just don't get to those late games often. And of course, it requires some skill to use Ravens, so this only applies to the very top-level players. But that's something that's going to eventually come out as people play more and more and more. That you know, Mass Ravens is kind of unbeatable. I think that'll be the one that'll slip through the cracks. You know, there'll be a lot of other things they'll fix pretty quickly, but that'll slip through the cracks, I think. Next question from EP Necro. Better ability, Blinding Cloud or Abduct? I feel like Blinding Cloud is much stronger, but still see Zergs use Abduct more often. So I think it really depends. Blinding Cloud is a very positional spell, so it depends on the positioning. Against Siege tanks in Siege mode, Blinding Cloud's obviously better. Against an opponent backed up against the wall, Blinding Cloud's better. We actually saw that this past match on Daybreak. Siege Stalkers came down, and they were kind of actually, they had no easy retreat path, and so Blinding Cloud was used, and then they were just got slaughtered. But if your opponent can just easily back out of Blinding Cloud, if let's say they're just Stalkers in a very open area, if they're a Terran with Bio and they can stim and kite backwards, then I feel like against a very strong opponent who's very fast with the micro, Blinding Cloud's not quite as good. If you're doing, like, for example, if you're fighting a Stalker Colossi ball and you don't have Fungals, so you can't stop them from kiting backwards very well, you'd rather abduct the Colossi and kill those off than put Blinding Cloud because they can still just kite backwards. So it's very situational. I think they're both very good spells. Versus single, very scary units, Abduct's generally better. But in most situations versus our entire armies, Blinding Cloud I feel is very useful, especially as people learn to not cast it where the army is now, but to put it behind where the army is so that they have to retreat because the Zerg Swarm is coming in, but as they retreat, they won't be able to stutter step because the Blinding Cloud's back there. So I think that's something we'll see. You also have with Dark Swarm a lot in Brood War. The speed needs to come in, and they'd actually put it behind the Marines, not just... Well, they put two, because they covered the speed on entry too, but you just use a lot of them. I think they're both very useful. I don't have a clear answer for you there. Next question from Anthony. Reapers still seem a bit too strong early game. Mostly Proxy Reaper versus Terran. What do you think needs to be changed for it to be balanced? So yeah, I mean, right now the proxy Reaper rush, especially if you get 2 Barracks Reaper really early, is almost unstoppable in Terran Mirror. I mean, if you scout it, you can stop it by just going straight to Concussive Shell Marauders. No, I've done that before. In fact, I had a game where I was actually proxy Reapering another guy, and I saw his SCVs coming. So instead I only proxied 1 Barracks, and I built the other one at home. I did one Barracks Reapers and a Marauders at home, and I won it pretty easily. Because the Marauder defended, and he lost all his SCVs, of course. There are ways to stop it, but if it's unscouted, it's hard counter so many openings. I don't know. I think it should stay on without the reactor. I think it should stay without the tech lab, but maybe you need to. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe you have to put it back on a tech lab so it's a little bit slower. Like, it's just honestly the only thing wrong with the Reapers is early game they're too strong for Zerg and Terran. And it's just because that regeneration ability and their movement speed makes it so hard to actually trap them. So I honestly, I don't know a good solution that wouldn't just make them useless. Because right now they're too strong, but you can easily make them useless. And they're great versus Protoss because you can make 1 to scout. It's super effective scout, so it's still very useful, but it's not overpowered at all. You know what? I think all you'd have to do is just increase their build time by like 5 seconds. And that wouldn't break the purpose as an early game scout. It wouldn't break those builds. But those very aggressive builds, the number would increase a little bit slower. And I think that would do it. Just making your build time a little bit longer would be the right answer to that. I don't really know, though. That's something I have to think more about. Next question is going to be from Battle. It says, the best way to handle a macro-heavy Zerg. So, at Heart of Swarm, as Terran player, you just want to get in their face. Right? And you want to get in their face without spending money, because Terran always wants to play macro games Heart of Swarm, because you got the strongest late game. So you want to do a lot of the Reapers early, or if not, do Hellbat drops. If not, Widowmine drops. If not, be at the front of their base with Hellions and Widowmines. Send whatever light initial units you have to slow them down. And then meanwhile, you macro like a maniac behind that, because you can just keep building command centers. It's like Sim Tower. Just keep building them, and then you get a lot and you win a game. As Protoss, the best way to handle macro-heavy Zergs is probably to just play macro-heavy yourself and then do some harass. Like, you can either do an all-in timing, but if you don't want to do that, you don't want to do like a 2-base all-in timing. Those are really strong. If you don't want to play that style, what you want to do is you want to go air. That's it. In Heart of Swarm, you either do a 2-base timing or you open air as Protoss, and you harass them with air constantly, right? And that could be maybe 1 or 2 oracles. Predominantly, those can be Phoenix. You just keep Phoenix constantly do damage, and you constantly scout them. If they're playing really greedy and passive, you can play really greedy too. Take a faster third. Take it with just like a Stargate and 2 gateways. Get the Mothership Core to Photon Overcharge. Build a good SimCity, and tech up and counter whatever competition they're going, right? But really, just keep harassing them and get a very good knowledge of what unit composition they're going to aim for using those Phoenixes. So let's see, there's one more question. Nope, no more questions. Okay, so that wraps up the Q&A section. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in again tomorrow. There's going to be a great match between Marine King. Yeah, it's Marine King Prime and Gumiho. It's going to be super, super, super exciting TVT. I can't wait to see this match. It's going to be awesome. That's at 5 p.m. Eastern. Right after that is going to be an amazing Rules of Engagement analyzing today's match between Sniper and Seed. Especially that second game on Daybreak. There was so much awesomeness in there. I may just make the entire episode of that one game. I don't know. We'll see. But stay tuned, or tune in again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. The action starts then. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.